The Chinese government is not just committing acts of genocide in East Turkestan that have global implications, it is also systematically persecuting Uyghurs and other Turkic Muslims residing globally through diverse methods. In an attempt to conceal these atrocities, the Chinese government is actively suppressing the voices of Uyghur families in the diaspora whose loved ones are subjected to arbitrary detention or unfair punishment in East Turkestan. It is widely known that those living in the diaspora who disclose Uyghur genocide risk subjecting their relatives to detention in camps, imprisonment, or even death. Starting in 2017, China has imposed severe penalties on any Uyghur who traveled abroad by sending them to re-education camps and punishing those who chose not to return by blacklisting them and issuing orders for their arrest. Individuals on this list live in constant fear, understanding that they could face severe consequences upon returning to East Turkestan, regardless of their current residential or citizenship status. For 7 years, Uyghurs have endured agonizing separation from their spouses, children, parents, and other relatives, resulting in profound mental health issues. Facing an agonizing dilemma between familial safety and national freedom, Uyghurs abroad grapple with the decision to remain silent or speak out. Many individuals choose to withhold their voices, fearing to cause additional harm to their families. Despite facing threats, intimidation, and even the torture and death of their relatives by the Chinese government, some brave individuals have testified about the atrocities the Uyghurs are facing in East Turkestan. For example, read the testimony of Gulbahar Haytiwaji and Roseanne Morgat, rescapés de Gulag Chinois. Since 2017, the Chinese government has issued frequent warnings to East Turkestanis residing in the diaspora, compelling them to return promptly for mandatory training or face severe repercussions. Many, alarmed by the safety of their families, complied with the orders, only to be thrown to jail or sent to re-education camps. Those who resisted the coercive call were not spared either. Their families were forcibly abducted and incarcerated. The relatives of Uyghurs living abroad have faced the Chinese government's brutal treatment and endured torture. The confiscation of property associated with the Uyghurs in the diaspora has been commonplace too. Those who sought to testify on such issues have faced threats from Chinese authorities. East Turkestanis living in countries dependent on China are at risk of being apprehended and extradited to China by the governments of those countries. For example, in 2017, a significant abduction incident unfolded in Egypt, leading to the repatriation of hundreds of Uyghurs to China by the Egyptian government. In 2021, Idris Hassan, an Uyghur computer technician in Morocco, fell victim to the abduction and remains incarcerated in Morocco as a result of China's pressure. In 2022, Saudi Arabia threatened some Uyghurs to be deported to China. Despite Turkey traditionally serving as a sanctuary for Uyghurs escaping persecution, in the last few years, some Uyghurs are believed to have been sent back to China through unofficial channels due to pressure and agreements between the two countries. The practice of cross-border kidnappings by Chinese authorities is not a recent development. This has persisted over an extended period of time. An illustrative case is that of Hussein Jalil, a Canadian citizen who, after visiting Uzbekistan in 2006, was seized by Uzbekistani authorities and handed over to China, where he has remained incarcerated since then. Despite having achieved dual citizenship, many individuals find themselves trapped in Chinese prisons due to the country's refusal to acknowledge their second nationality. Consequently, East Turkestanis in the diaspora have become perilously vulnerable when visiting nations with diplomatic extradition treaties and political and economic dependence on China. In addition to these, the Chinese government has been forcing the Uyghurs in the diaspora to work for them. In return, they are offered high wages, the release of family members, and free travel to China. For this reason, some Uyghurs are promoting Chinese propaganda in the country where they live and cover up the Uyghur genocide. The experience of Yusufjan, who is living legally in Turkey, is a typical example. Yusufjan agreed to work for China to rescue his family from captivity, yet he refused to continue his work after realizing that this was nothing but perpetuating the suffering of Uyghurs. After he revealed his case to the media, he was shot on the street, resulting in paralysis of his entire body. The Uyghur genocide stands as a dark stain on the face of humanity, and allowing it to continue only emboldens China's aspirations for world dominance. The Uyghur Genocide serves as an ominous warning that what befalls the Uyghurs today could be the fate of the broader world tomorrow. For the sake of humanity's future and the well-being of our society, it is the collective responsibility of the global community to save the Uyghurs from Chinese oppression.